Now, I don't know if this is just me, but I feel like every single time spring comes around, the weather gets warmer, we see the sun more often, and when I start getting into a good mood like this, I just find myself way more prone to spending lots of money on manga. Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is ThePromG. Welcome back to a brand new video. Now, today, what I have for you guys is my monthly manga haul for the month of February. I keep telling myself that I need to cut back on the manga spending and, save for things like tuition and rent, but this month I found myself in an absolute crazy manga haul. We have some really awesome out-of-print manga sets and volumes, as well as some brand new releases and series that I'm starting to read, which I'm very excited for. I honestly do not know how my bank account is still afloat at this point, but here we are with a banger manga haul for you guys today, so I hope you guys do enjoy this video. If you guys do, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more manga videos just like this. Also, if you're looking to build a manga haul of your own, make sure to go down in the description below and check out my Right Stuff affiliate link. You get manga for amazing prices. You also support the channel. And make sure to leave a comment down below telling me what was your personal favorite manga pickup of the month of February. I know we all get lots of different manga series, probably some different stuff that I have, maybe I've never even heard of, so put me on your favorite series down below. But with all that being said, without any further ado, let's get right into this month's manga haul. Alright, so starting things off very strong right off the bat, we have 3 volumes that complete a very rare and out-of-print manga series for me in my collection. You may have seen me unbox these volumes in my most recent manga haul unboxing, so if you did, it is no surprise. I'm talking about volumes 23, 26 Light and Dark of Batum. Now, if you watched that video, then you may know that I actually talked a little bit of smack about Batum, saying it was like a shitty Battle Royale clone, and I was very surprised to see a lot of Batum fans show up in the comments to prove me wrong. But like I said, these 3 volumes right here complete volumes 1 through 26 Light and Dark of Batum, a very rare and out-of-print manga series nowadays, selling for around like $800 to $1,000 for complete set. A lot of my volumes are sealed like the ones you see here, which is very exciting. And if any of you guys watching this video have ever read Batum or watched Batum, let me know what you think about it down in the comments below. Is it more than just a Battle Royale clone? Because personally, I think it looks pretty interesting, but just based off the things I've heard, I'm not really sure if I should get my expectations up too high, but still, nevertheless, very excited to have these volumes. Alright, so the next 2 volumes I have to show off in today's manga haul are 2 very special volumes because they're actually sent to me by a viewer of the channel. One of the definite perks about having a manga YouTube channel is that when, you say you're looking for something and somebody finds it out in the wild, they tend to let you know and actually send it to you sometimes for a pretty good price, which is the case here as I was sent volume 2 of Offered by Kazuo Koke. Now, if you haven't heard of the series, Offered is a 2-volume series by Kazuo Koke, the author of Lone Wolf and Cub, illustrated by Ryuichi Gami, the artist behind Sanctuary, 2 of my favorite series. And typically with these lesser-known Kazuo Koke or Ikigami manga series, they tend not to be the highest in quality most of the time, but they still can be pretty fun to read. And at only 2 volumes, I figured, what the hell, I'll give it a read. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I won't be too surprised. And the viewer who sent me that Offered volume actually sent me an extra copy of his of Record of Ragnarok Volume 1. This was a very hyped up manga series that I know a lot of you guys probably really love, and the guy told me that he actually pre-ordered 3 volumes of Volume 1 right here on accident. I don't know if this is a thing that hasn't happened to me yet, but personally, I've never ordered more than 1 copy of a book. Let me know if you guys run into this problem a lot. Now, similar to Batum, I actually finished another out-of-print manga series with Volume 18 of Toriko. I actually got this from Atomic Empire after seeing it listed for like $40, $30 on eBay. I was shocked to find this for $7 new, so I had to go ahead and scoop up Volume 18 to complete Volumes 1 through 43 of Toriko, a series that I've actually been reading pretty recently, and so far have really been enjoying. And I would really recommend looking into the series if it sounds interesting or looking for a very different shonen adventure story. Now, speaking of very different series, next up we have Volume 1 for a series that is just completely out of my realm. I never would have thought I'd have bought this volume, but after finding it at my half-price books, I decided to give a chance to Volume 1 of Love at 14. I know, mixed with all my other seinen manga that I have in my collection, you wouldn't think that I'd be interested in this, but honestly, this was a pretty fun first volume. This manga follows 2 middle school students, both 14 years old, and they're, I guess, pretty mature for their age, so they never really talk to each other or get into like a whole bunch of romance in front of the other students, but when they're alone, they're the best of friends, childhood friends, and they just have some cute moments along the way. With that being said, I did enjoy this first volume here. It was kind of nice to get into something a little bit different than what I usually read, but given how some of the later volumes are pretty out of print and expensive, I don't think I'm going to continue to complete this series in English physically, but I may end up reading this online and give it a fair shot. Next up here, we have 3 really cool manga volumes from a new, or I guess new release for a manga series that a lot of people really love. I heard some great things about. Here we have volumes 1 through 3 of Fist of the North Star by Burnson, in these really cool Viz hardcovers. Obviously, Fist of the North Star is a manga series that basically needs no introduction, an all-time classic that has lots of influences in shonen manga such as JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Now, from what I understand, this manga series isn't the most, deep, philosophical, hard-hitting manga series out there. It is kind of a fun adventure with lots of violence and juiced up men beating the shit out of each other. This new hardcover release from Viz is also very top-notch. Great quality, great feel in the hands, and the artwork is fantastic, and overall, all these elements combined, I'm super excited to check out Fist of the North Star. Now, the next volume that I picked up in this month's manga haul is actually another series written by Bernson, the author of Fist of the North Star, but this is a super rare and expensive volume that you just don't see very often. I was very lucky to find this on Reddit for a pretty good price. That is Japan by Bernson, illustrated by Kentaro Miura. This was a very interesting read, to say the least. The story is basically like Japanese propaganda, and these characters basically get time travel back in time to like this Mad Max, heavily inspired Fist of the North Star environment where, Japanese people are slaves. It's like in the future. It's a dystopian story that is heavy with propaganda. But for what it is, this is a pretty interesting manga that you really don't get to see too often. It has me looking to get my hands on a copy of King of the Wolves, which is another Miura and Bernson manga, I believe. I know East Coast Manga found at his used store for like $5, but I don't think I'm quite as lucky as him. But fingers crossed I'll find it in the future. But as for now, I enjoy this a decent amount. Next up here, we have volume 5 and 6 of the Rurouni Kenshin Fizbigs. I got a lot of these in my last month's manga haul, and I found 2 more this month that I added to my collection. I'm now just missing volume 9, and I'll have the entire Rurouni Kenshin series in my collection. I've said a lot about these in my manga unboxing, so I won't dwell on these too much. But again, beautiful volumes, covers, and spines. Just a great Vizbig release, and I'm super excited to hopefully have this entire series in my collection by the end of the year. Next up, we have 2 more volumes I got in my most recent manga unboxing video. We have A Bride Story Hardcover 2 and Real Volume 15. I'll start with Bride Story. Of course, I'm trying to get more of this series as I've been getting into Kara Mori's manga, so Volume 2 was just one that I had to get off the checklist. And then Volume 15 of Real, obviously a series you guys know I love Inoue, and I believe it was 6 years from the time of Volume 14 to Volume 15 here, so we've been waiting on this for a long time. I haven't gotten into Volume 15 of Real yet, just because I'm savoring having it on my shelf. Similar with Vinland Saga, we don't get these volumes too often. They're very few and far in between, so I'm kind of just putting this off for now, and I'll get to it eventually. You guys know I will get to it eventually because this is one of my favorite manga series of all time, and yeah, this is definitely a very cool pickup for this month. The next volume that I picked up this month is Volume 3 of Taiyo Matsumoto's Number 5, a beautiful manga volume for another manga series that I haven't quite gotten into yet. I'm just waiting for the 4th volume and final volume, I believe, to come out, and then I will get into Number 5, which I've heard some great things about. Everything that I've heard about this series so far is just how it's completely unique and wacky and different, even from other things that Taiyo Matsumoto has put out himself, which is, a statement because this series can get pretty weird. But I've heard that this manga is just completely bizarre. The artwork is fantastic. Honestly, might be some of my favorite Matsumoto artwork. Just some of the shading is really well done, and it has a very unique look to it. I'm not quite sure when Volume 4 is going to come out for Number 5, but I'm super excited to get into the series eventually, nevertheless. And speaking of crazy, now we're going to get into the very crazy pickups for this month, meaning the out-of-print manga series that I got my hands on this month. I mean, for better or for worse for my wallet. The first really rare and out-of-print manga series that I got this month is Tsundeome Volumes 1 through 8. Now, if you guys have been following the channel, you'll know that I have quite a history with this series. Tsundeome is one of the most bizarre and completely out there manga series that I've ever read, and honestly, I kind of fell in love with it. But I believe it was last year that I actually had to let go of my manga set that I actually bought for $65 off of Reddit, which is an insane deal, and I kind of came to accept the fact that I would never get my hands on another set of Tsundeome ever again. But here I am a year later, and I've bought this series again for way more than I paid for it the first time. Though I won't give you guys a specific number as to how much I paid for this very out-of-print set right here. Let's just say it is a lot more than $65 and a little bit more close to what the series goes for normally. Also, a pretty cool thing about this set is that some of these volumes are actually still sealed, including the elusive Volume 8, which can go for like $200 on its own. So that kind of speaks to the insane price that the series go for nowadays, and I'm just so glad to have this in my collection once again. Now, before I get into the last manga series that I picked up a bunch of volumes for that are really hard to find in out of print, I'm going to show off the Volume 1 of the Vampire Hunter D light novel I found used. I've heard Weeabra talk a lot of praises about this light novel, so I decided to give it a try. It was like $3 at my local store, so I picked it up. The rest of the series is just insanely out of print, you know, these single volumes, but I believe that Dark Horse is putting out an omnibus for this series, so if I do end up liking the first volume, I'll probably go the route of the omnibus to continue this series. Alright, so last but definitely not least, we have the final manga series that I got a bunch of volumes for this month, and the crazy thing is, I basically bought these all completely on a whim. I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with Weebra, a fellow MangaTube channel, and one that has influenced a lot of my purchases in the past, no exception with this and Vampire Hunter D, but recently he's been picking up a series called Iron Walk Jan, and as I saw him picking up these volumes, it occurred to me that I really don't have a really rare out-of-print series that I'm just looking to blow money on at the moment, so I decided to fill that void with this series. Here we have volumes 1 through 8, 10, and 12 of Iron Walk Jan, and then in this other stack here we have a bunch of other volumes, including volume 26, which is very rare and hard to find. So yeah, we got a decent amount of volumes for the series this month. I'll go ahead and show off the covers for this series just because they are so unique and beautiful. A lot of really interesting ones in this series, but from what I understand, this is basically like a tournament series for food, and you know, since I've been reading Toriko, I figured, no, why not start another really extremely interesting looking food manga. And this manga is also put out by Comics One, which is the same publisher who put out series like Wounded Man that I showed earlier, as well as a bunch of other rare series like this. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting publisher that you don't get to see too often, and most of the volumes put out by this publisher are very hard to find. Now, I actually got a lot of these volumes from different places. Some of these I got from this Reddit deal that I actually snagged right from under Weebra's nose. He was looking for a lot of the volumes in that lot. I got a great deal on those. And then the other ones I got from this eBay listing had a bunch of really faded volumes, like the spines are basically blue and lack all color, but I found them for a really good deal, so I couldn't pass it up. Like this one right here, you just cannot see the number, so luckily the cover is intact so I can tell, but from the spine, it just gives you nothing. Then of course here we have volumes 23 and 26 to round off the volumes of Iron Walk Jan that I picked up this month. This is just such an interesting series for me, not only because it comes with very high praise from Weebra, but just flipping through it just looks like such an absurd manga series. Like the characters are really extreme, and I feel like I'm gonna have some good times reading this. Also, the artwork is extremely unique and pretty in my personal opinion. I cannot wait to see how the food looks as I get into reading this series, just because, you know, Toriko has me hungry enough, so why not throw another series in the mix? But yeah, in contrast to some other series that I've collected in the past, such as Battle Angelita, where I just go after all the volumes as quickly as possible, I feel like with Iron Walk Jan, I'm not in a huge rush to complete this series, so when volumes pop up for a good price, I'll buy them, but I'm just not in any rush to spend more than I have to. You know, you guys should really cherish this moment because, you know, PromG being fiscally responsible does not happen very often. But anyways, guys, that's all the manga that I picked up over the month of February 2022. Hope you guys did enjoy this manga haul. Had a crazy variety of new and out-of-print series, so hopefully you guys got put onto something you're interested in or just enjoyed seeing what I picked up this month. If you did enjoy the video, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more manga videos just like this. So yeah, this has been ThePromG. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and as always, hope to catch you in the next one.